Hello, friends, and here is another one question. What is the role of Scrum Master in Agile release planning? So, this is a most frequent question asked by the interviewer in so many interviews, what I could sense. So, first, let me try to start from what does mean by Agile release planning? It's absolutely on my understanding. You may have some different opinion and looking forward for that answers also in our comments. So, what is Agile release planning? Agile release planning is nothing but it's a kind of management method. Okay, that means where you plan incremental release of a product. So we are just planning how we are going to deliver our product in an incremental basis. That is what agile release planning. Okay, you prepared for staged release, like in instead of complete bunch altogether release, we will plan for a staged release, which we will break down our product backlog item, and based on the sprints or iterations, if it is safe, we will deliver. Depends on your program alignment or your program process or your convenient or teams functions and size, everything. Okay, it depends on the every individual and not every individual, every team and every program, every organization. Few organizations are not at all having anything so called agile release planning. They will just releasing things on an incremental basis, so that is also working for them. Again, inspect and adapt is the only thing we are adhering in agile, right? So that is the one thing. So what is the purpose of agile release planning before getting into what is the role of scrum master? So agile release planning ensure our product is always moving in the right direction, and that logical releases are frequently happening. That means I'm developing a website, say for an instance, okay. In this particular in this particular release plan, I'm releasing login pages with some username, password, so that kind of authentication, authorization I'm releasing. In my next sprint or next iterations, if I'm releasing some advanced tabs, so-called Q&A or something, or some other tabs, okay, instead of releasing my home tab, it may not be going to be a logical release. Okay, if you are getting into the website, homepage should be there to know more about that website, right? So that is kind of logical release. So for that only, this release planning and all is happening mainly. That means the logical release and ensuring that we are moving in the right proper direction. Okay, so it will outlines the immediate release or immediate future release, but doesn't try to plan for years or some years and all. Okay, we are releasing in a bunch, bunch by bunch. Okay, little nimble part of we are releasing into the market. Again, it is not a high level scope and timeline, but it is more into detail. If you look into our product vision or roadmap, it is a like high level scope, some approximate dates are there in our product roadmap and all. But this agile release plan is very particular, details will be available in agile release plan. So when this release will happen, so release plan comes out after you have outlined your product vision and roadmap. Since the focus of the work or the scrum is on shorter sprints or shorter iteration, some teams actually work with just a release, and it's up to the organization. As I said already, we will plan as per our team's structure and size. Okay, who is responsible for this release plan? It's absolutely PO and scrum team is along with the key stakeholders. Okay, PO and the Scrum team are the one who are mostly relevant to that software and more closely working with that software. So they are the one who's having more responsibility and more idea and knowledge. PO is having the knowledge and idea, what is adding some business value to the stakeholders. At the meantime, based on PO's vibe and idea, team members can make it as very positive and can make it as a software, right? So PO and the scrum team are the key persons along with the key stakeholders. How to do this release planning? First step, what we have to do is that evaluate your product vision and roadmap, and single outcomes. What are all the outcomes you are going to give? And expand and prioritize your product backlog based on this outcomes or the keeping what we want to do. Set a clear release goals that combines a logical path. Again, that logical path is really important. You need to say, have a clear goal along with the logically we should move. If you are moving absurdly, then it doesn't matter and it won't add any value to the end users, right? So this is how we have to do. Not only end users, even if the key stakeholders are viewing it, if it is not logical, if it is not linking with each other, then there's no point of releasing those things. And then break down your releases into multiple sprints or iterations. So product backlog items should be prioritized, groomed accordingly, and breaking down the product backlog items in a logical way is also matters. Okay, so what and all we need to discuss when we are doing this kind of release plan. Review your roadmap, review your keep the vision of the product in memory, review the architectures, examine the velocity and iteration, what is our capacity and how the team members are available, and what is the market trend. Those things and all we have to keep in our mind. Velocity and iteration schedule, establish the definition of done, so that only we can plan properly. If suppose definition of done is little stringent, and if you are committing something very early, then it may be a toss. Okay, so to have this release plan very smoothly, you should have to identify the dependencies properly. If suppose you are implementing in safe in our PI planning meeting itself, you have to identify the dependencies, spot the task, and spot the dependencies appropriately and plan for the iterations. Focus on the release goals, release done work, what is going to be finished and what was already finished, those things, and release as often as possible to get the early feedbacks and also to know how user is getting value on this one, so that we can inspect and adapt based on that. Okay, another one interesting question along with that is that always anticipation. What is the role of scrum master in agile release planning? Mainly facilitating the planning process, but scrum masters are not limited just to facilitate the planning process. They are ensuring the works with development team, product owner, and stakeholders to create the common understanding. If suppose key stakeholders are asking something, but my team members are not understanding what they are looking for and what is the immediate need of the market, then it can't be very productive and we can't release the product easily, properly and appropriately on time to the market. So bringing them everyone to the page, that is also literally important. And determine the scope of the upcoming release. What is the scope, what is the expectation, what is the outcome we are going to deliver. Okay, and help the team members to set some practical achievable targetable goals and the release plans. Okay, considering everything, the dependencies, capacity and velocity, and some cases scrum masters are also working as a project manager. In that case, they need to worry about their budget, resources, everything. Okay, so if we are as a scrum master, so we have to concentrate on those areas also. And then it's not only limiting on this one. Apart from that, we need to coach, men, mentoring them, facilitating all the event, keeping the scrum values. Those are all the main uh, thing as a scrum master we are ensuring. Along with that, we are ensuring the team is aligned with our organization goals, uh, in parallelly with the release plan and the product vision and product. Okay, okay, thank you.